Okay.
Okay, well, firstly, hello everybody. Good morning if we have any colleagues from Europe, and good afternoon, good evening to our Middle East and Asia Pac colleagues. I think it's probably too early for us to have any of our North America colleagues on here unless they don't sleep, but we'll be talking to them later tomorrow. Good to have you all here, and thank you to Cvent. To Lexi and to Akshay, and forgive me if there's any of the other team on the call, Lexi, Akshay, but certainly I know that you two both are. Thanks for the partnership. I mean, as many of the hotels online will know, we work with you guys across a number of different product lines and services and technologies and things that you provide, and it's a very rich relationship that you guys support very well. So we're very grateful for that. So why are we all here today talking about Cvent event diagramming? I'm not obviously going to go into too much detail about the product. I'm going to leave that to the experts. But why it's important is the functionality that this involves is one, 2D floor plans that will for your event spaces that will appear on your websites, interactive floor plans that you'll be able to share from your sales offices with your clients, and you'll be able to collaborate on those floor plans so that clients can create bespoke floor plans for the events that they're actually hosting in your hotels. So this is a service enhancement that the clients will enjoy. And thirdly, the event diagramming aspect. You're going to be able to create bespoke event diagrams for the spaces that the clients are taking from you, and you'll be able to put those into like a 3D render, which allows the client to have a really good feel for the space and what it will look like with the configuration that they're requesting. So these are superb functionality additions. And a lot of our hotels, there might be a few of you out there that are using one or other of those tools, either the IFP, the interactive floor plans, or the CED, which is the Cvent event diagramming. But most of our hotels that use them are in North America. We have a few that are using outside. And as a luxury brand, or an ultra luxury brand if you're Raffles, we should be offering this quality of content on our websites. We often have images on there. It's very hit and miss as to whether or not we have floor plans on our websites. As a luxury brand, we should have that. If you are a meeting planner and you have the budget to hold your event in a Fairmont and a Raffles, you should expect a rich user experience when you go online, not just a capacities and dimensions table and a few photos of the meeting space. So this is about us enriching that user experience online to reflect the fact that we are luxury and an ultra luxury brand, and that should be reflected in the user experience for meeting planners on our website. And then when it comes to the event diagramming, the same is true. If you are a meeting planner that has the budget to hold an event in a Fairmont or a Raffles, you should be able to expect an excellent sales experience when you're in touch with the sales office, and that comes down to the skills and the attitude of you and your sales teams, but that also comes down to the process that we follow, and a number of you are signed up to the BDRC venue verdict, which defines our inquiry handling standards, and we measure you against that. So this is part of that same drive for us to ensure that we provide a really high quality inquiry process. So it's about the skills and the attitude of the team members. It's about the process and the standards that we operate to in terms of inquiry handling, and it's about functionality and tools that we make available, and that's where event diagramming and interactive floor plans come in. When you are dealing directly with the client by phone, you're able to give them access to these tools, and you're able to show them a space in 2D or 3D that is specific to the event that they're holding with you, and that should be a differentiator versus certainly against your upscale competitors, and I would hope against some of your luxury competitors as well. So this is really about us providing a luxury experience for meeting planners both on and offline through your sales offices. So that's why it's so important. And in case you didn't join the dots, the reason why that in itself is so important is because the richer the experience we provide in terms of content and experience for the buyers, the more likely your inquiries are to convert with you. So this is about driving conversion, which enables you to increase your revenue without having to increase demand. If you can convert more of the business that you're receiving on a day-to-day basis as inquiries, then you don't have to generate as much new demand. So this is about increasing conversion percentage, which should always be a focus for us, particularly in the mice space. So I'm going to be quiet now. Thank you all for joining. Thanks again, Cvent. Thank you, Benjamin, who's been project managing this. And I'll be quiet now and hand over to the experts. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate that. Great introduction. And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I'm Lexi Vilken. And I'm here to really kind of walk you through the two products that, are being put forward as a brand standard now for Fairmont and Raffles. So, it's really going to be more of a kind of overview of the product, but also diving deep into the product itself. So, obviously a quick agenda, some introductions, just to introduce you to the Cvent team. And thank you, Matthew, for starting off that nice introduction. We'll talk about the two different products specifically that are now the brand standard, but also the options that you have to add on to further create more value for your clients, and also to really position your property as that luxury standard. And then finally, we'll wrap up with just walking through the survey and how the process is going to work to essentially choose the option that you want to move forward with. So we've kind of covered this already, and we'll be sure to send this out. You might have seen the pre-read prior to this webinar, but we'll of course be sending out this deck as well, which will include more helpful materials to review. But the event diagramming solution and the interactive floor plans are going to be those mandatory products moving forward, with the option to add on some photorealistic 3D for that virtual kind of tour experience, and then also catalog management to really kind of curate the inventory that you can use within our diagramming tool. This, of course, as I mentioned, the survey, will walk through it at the end, but then that link will be sent out and you'll be prompted to kind of go through the entire survey to make your selection. And that needs to be completed by the end of the month, with this agreement starting on the 1st of June. Sorry, I first wanted to introduce kind of myself a little bit more, but also mention Akshay Saxena is also on the call. He is the regional sales director, account manager for Accor as an entire brand, and is a little bit under the weather today. So, he's here to answer any questions, but I'll really be kind of driving the webinar moving forward. And as I mentioned, my name is Lexi. I'm a solutions consultant here, so really kind of that product expert here to show how these tools are going to create value, but also to answer any questions that you might have. So please, as we're going through, feel free to put any questions you have into the chat box. We'll also leave a little bit of time at the end to ask questions live, and you'll have our contact details if you need to follow up with us after today. So let's get into the tool itself. Again, Matthew really set us up for a great kind of introduction to the tool. But the Cvent event diagramming tool is really going to provide that enhanced customer experience and improve communication internally and between you and your client. It helps clients visualize their events, maximize the venue space, and also you're providing a kind of value add to your customer where they're going to be able to get into the tool, collaborate with you, and potentially even have options to maybe start seating, creating a seating plan. So they have tools that they can use as a kind of lead-on effect from you licensing this tool. In terms of the operational aspects, You can create different setups, save your layouts, add conference and banqueting furniture from our catalog, or if you choose to create your own customized catalog from your own. You can provide detailed essential AV capabilities, and all of this is within a 2-scale diagram, really to ensure efficiency and accuracy. As I mentioned already, there's real-time collaboration features. So this is allowing unlimited users within the property to work in the tool all together. So this could be members from the sales team to create a bespoke floor plan and add it onto a proposal. This could be members from the events team that are really using this to create the fine details and, in terms of operations. And it's all going to have real-time updates that ensure that everyone, all stakeholders, internally and externally, are on the same page. Of course, as well, you have the ability to export diagrams, attendee lists, and there's a built-in chat for streamlined communication. So all in all, in addition with the interactive floor plans, this is going to save time when planning, improve internal coordination, present that professional image, and help everywhere from sales team to marketing your property, promoting your event space. So let's have a look at the 2 core products that we'll be focusing on today, which is the interactive floor plans and event diagramming. So I've mentioned it a few times now, but the interactive floor plan is really how you're positioning your meeting space. This is going to be visible not only on your Cvent supplier network profile, but also can be embedded on your brand website. So you're going to have streamlined meeting room content across multiple channels, ensuring that it's always up to date and accurate. You only have to update it in one place if updates are necessary. And clients are getting a great experience no matter what channel they're going through. Ways to convert these leads as well, because you're able to draw them in with different setup options, providing good visuals, and also potentially even kind of that photorealistic 3D element. Event diagramming goes a little bit more into the planning and execution phase, but of course, this is also something that many hotels' sales teams leverage to include in proposals to show the client that they have something that's bespoke for them, and again, kind of create that customized approach right from the start of the inquiry. So let's go ahead and jump into the product now. We'll start with the interactive floor plans and then move into the event diagramming. And then afterwards, I'll show you what the add-on options are that you'll see available in the survey. All right. I'll just take a quick look at the chat to see if we have anything. Nothing yet. All right, so here you should be able to see the Cvent supplier network. Ben, can you give me a thumbs up if that's what you're seeing now? Perfect. Thank you so much. So, of course, this is where clients, planners are starting their journey to search for properties that are going to meet the specs of their meeting or event. What we have done recently is built in a suggested feature based on planner demand that they want to see more rich meeting room content. So, so many people are buying online now. They need to have that information without hunting and pecking, or, just seeing standard different setups, or trying to envision what a classroom style might look like in your ballroom. So because of that planner demand, we've built in that interactive floor plan as a filter here. So now planners can narrow down. You'll be part of a more exclusive, competitive list where you can really position yourselves as having that technology to support what clients are looking for. Here we can see the Fairmont Windsor Park has already invested in the interactive floor plans, and you'll notice that they also have a label on their profile, again, giving them further exposure and telling those clients that they have this rich meeting room content. So as we click down into the meeting space, instead of if many of you who don't have this product currently, you would just be taken to a standard capacity chart. But as Matthew said, this is not necessarily what clients are looking for or positioning yourselves as competitive in many cases. So the default view will now be the interactive floor plan. The clients can scroll through and see nice images of the room. We know that planners out there, especially the younger generation, are more visual. So we're really trying to pull them in with visuals of the spaces. Before we click into a specific room, I also want to just mention the map view. The map view is fantastic for clients who are trying to get an understanding of the entire layout of the property and where those rooms are in relation to one another, or the corridors or the toilets or the lifts. So it is kind of highlighting those different meeting spaces in light blue here, and we can click on a space and see more information about it on the right-hand side. In some cases as well, for rooms that can be adjoined, you'll be able to combine those rooms into different configurations. Now, if we go back to the list view, we'll now just click into the Aurora Ballroom, and you'll see that this property has now set up 5 different setup options based on standard setups that they would do in this space. For example, we have our banquet rounds, our classroom style, and crescent rounds. So the client is able to see very clearly where are the food and beverage stations, where is the audio visual going to be, where is the stage, how is the theater style going to be set up. This is what planners are looking for. I can tell you, I know this from firsthand because I actually used to work with our planners for the previous 8 years or so at Cvent, and they need this content right at their fingertips. So we're going to give them access to this within Cvent, but we're also going to give you the ability to add this to your brand website. So if I now just click into, this is a Fairmont property as well that we're on their gather page, so their meetings and events page. And as we scroll down, you'll see that if we click on floor plans, this will actually link us to a new page where this is dedicated to the interactive floor plan content. Again, we're giving you 2 kind of options, or not options, 2 ways to showcase this meeting room information through Cvent and also your brand website, but it's all coming from one source. So no need to update multiple sites. You'll also notice that there's filters here, and this is available on both pages as well, where the client can actually type in a capacity, choose a setup type, and it's going to filter down the rooms that can match those specs. So ideally, this is going to help qualify your leads better, but this is also giving planners that content that they need right from the start when they're going through their sourcing journey. Now, you'll notice that there are some rooms here that have a 3D logo. So that is the photorealistic 3D, which is an add-on option. So I'm going to pause that for just a moment, and we'll first talk about the event diagramming software, and we'll return to the 3D more towards the end, just because that's going to be an add-on option. All right, so now transitioning, just to go back to our slides here, we've just reviewed the interactive floor plans. Again, this is how you're positioning and marketing your meeting spaces, ideally qualifying them better. So when they come to onto your desks, onto your sales team's desks, they are, they can match what you're able to do. The clients have a clear idea of how the room would be set up, and you're really able to show that you do have this technology to support them in the planning phase of their event as well. And that moves us into event diagramming. So event diagramming is going to look something like this. Anyone who's might have heard of social tables before. This is actually the product that we acquired from Social Tables back in 2018. So it is essentially that tool, but of course enhanced kind of over many years now under the Cvent technology team, which is always building and expanding on this product. So this is what it's going to look like. Again, I mentioned at the very start, you will have unlimited number of users. So as many people from the property that need access to this tool can have it. That is determined during the onboarding setup, whoever is going to be in charge of that at your property. You can also share this out with as many customers as you want. So you can add in your client's email address, give them permissions to work in the tool with you and choose what they should be able to do and should not be able to do. And they'll be able to also benefit from having a tool that as kind of that value add. So just to kind of back up a bit, in terms of getting started with this, we'll build out all of your meeting spaces, even if it's just your boardroom, but of course focusing the most on your primary spaces. But you'll be able to diagram any of the event spaces on property. These are all going to be built to scale and with incorporating any unique factors, such as are there pillars? Those will be noted on the diagrams that you can diagram around them. Now, on the left-hand side is where we have all of our tools. So excuse me, utilizing these tools is really going to position, again, your hotel as modern, tech savvy, give planners innovative solutions. You will be able to have those pre-saved layouts, as I mentioned earlier, that will be set up during the onboarding process and be really kind of the same as your interactive floor plan layouts. So all of these can be saved as templates so that you can use them to kind of start from and just really create more automation and efficiency. So the layouts look a little bit like this. So for example, if we wanted to apply perhaps our wedding setup, I'll just double click and in a matter of seconds, we have our rounds, we have bar setup, we have the dance floor and the DJ, and I can make any modifications that I need to. For example, down at the bottom, you'll notice that I have this set for 240. I can simply delete a table or even shrink that space to have kind of dynamic tools here that are responsive to what I'm looking for. So now it's down to 200, and that's what the client's brief was. So there we go. We've now customized this diagram starting from that layout. Couple of other quick, options here to change the number of chairs. You don't have to delete each chair or place each chair. You can simply use the settings on the right to say, maybe we want 5 chairs because we're going to do a cabaret style. We'll change that viewing direction. And again, voila, we have now a new diagram created. Now, in terms of the furniture that you have access to, you'll have access to our Cvent kind of standard furniture catalog. This is going to be very comprehensive in terms of any objects that you might need. For example, you have a piano into the space and the client wants to have a piano over here in the corner. We can drop that in, and you'll also notice we have the option to customize any dimensions of the furniture in the catalog. So you can really match to make sure this is precise and to scale. Now, an add-on option, we'll talk about this a little bit more later on as well, but an add-on option is to have a curated furniture list. So what we call this our catalog management tool, which means that in addition to Cvent's standard furniture, you will have your own curated list that you can pick from. The purpose of this, of course, being the accuracy of it, the time savings, so you don't need to customize all of our existing furniture, and also just a more specific, precise list. Future plans that we'll be able to actually Allow to use this for kind of inventory purposes, so that as you're placing chairs or table across multiple diagrams, the system will flag if you've used more inventory than you actually have, to anticipate if you need to use rental furniture or just plan a little bit more effectively there. So those are future plans, kind of where this tool is headed. Now, a couple of other features here. We have our table numbering tool. Anyone who's done this manually will see the magic of just being able to drag and drop over the tables in any way that we need to. You can plug it in to skip certain numbers if you need to, but that is a really simple and effective way just to number those tables. And from there, what we can actually do is start to create a seating plan as well. So you have the option to upload an Excel list of different attendees with dietary requirements, VIP status, company names, plus ones in the case of a wedding perhaps. And from here, we can just actually drag and drop people onto specific tables and start to create that table plan. Now, this is something that, of course, maybe your hotel isn't doing directly, but because you have the collaboration here, you can actually, once you create that diagram, share it with your client, pop in their email address, give them permission only to seat attendees, and now this becomes a tool that they can leverage through your license. So all in one place, you have your 2-scale diagram, you have your seating plan with all of the important information to pass to your operational teams for place cards, for the seating chart, for food, for meal options and dietaries. And we'll go ahead and just auto seat everyone. Add a chair to this table so we can auto seat everyone. And then I'll show you what you can export, a couple of different export options from here. So we have now people sat at those tables. Again, you can see it's kind of filling in. We have a little bit more chairs than people, but we can export that table report. And this is going to show us table by table who is sat where, important information that we might need to track about each guest. I'll take a quick scroll through. So that is one of the helpful export options that you have, again, for internal communications. We also have the diagram, which you can export. And this is something that a lot of hotels are including in the BEO. This is going to include a list of equipment that you're using. You can include notes. You can actually brand it as well. So currently we just have the Cvent logo exporting, but you can put your hotel logo, you can put the brand logo, you can put your client's logo, whatever the case is, really create a little bit more of a bespoke export here. Now, of course, PDF is always a great option, but from my experience, I use this as when I was planning my own wedding. I personally loved having the link because this is showing all of the changes that are being done in real time. Of course, PDF is very key, but as soon as a change is made, that is now outdated. So in addition to having the PDF, you also have a public diagram link. This link can be sent out. Again, if your sales team is using this to include on a proposal, this link can be used in that proposal. Just copy it in. It can be sent out to a client by email. It can be sent out internally. And anyone that clicks on this link will be able to see the most accurate, up-to-date diagram with any of those changes made. If you choose to add on that 3D option as well, the client will also be able to view the room, not only in this 2D diagram, but in the 3D as well. So in essence, that is a quick kind of overview of the event diagramming tool. Let's now take a look into the 3D, just to keep us on time. And I'll go ahead and actually load up the 3D room for this specific diagram that we've just created. Now, what you're going to see is an accurate, kind of real life virtual walkthrough of this space. And it is responsive as well. So any changes that we make in our 2D diagram will be reflected immediately in the 3D. Just to demonstrate that, let's go ahead and split our screen. So here on the right-hand side, well, firstly, let's just make it a bit bigger to kind of have a walkthrough of this space. So here you can see we're walking through, we can see our table set, our bars over here on the right-hand side, our DJ, dance floor, and piano over there in the corner. So the client is getting a really good picture of this space. They're able to understand the lighting, the natural daylight that may or may not be there, what the design of the carpet and the ceiling fixtures look like. And we also have many tools that can further kind of customize the look and feel of this space. So if we just go over, I want to go in the corner here to get a bigger picture look at the whole space. What we can do is actually create different options to customize the lighting. So if you do have the option to change colors of lighting in the room, you'll have those options here. If not, what you can do is actually just kind of dim the overall lighting to give the right ambiance, to show the client realistically what it would look like. If you have natural daylight coming in as well, you can also change the time of day so you can see where the sun position is. And this is all based off of geolocation services. So it's accurate in terms of the positioning and where the shadows will come in. In addition, you have the ability to toggle on air walls to see where partitions might be. You can also view it from different angles. This is more helpful for outdoor spaces. And then finally, we have a link. So again, many different teams and there's many different use cases for this, in the sense of if you're trying to win a piece of business, you can take this link for this customized diagram and again, include it on that proposal. The proactive sales team can use this in terms of kind of showing the space. And again, it's just really helpful for kind of creating that unique customized experience with the right lighting, with the changes that the client is asking made in real time. So let's go back to that split screen here, and I'll just show you a quick example. I'll turn up the lighting a little bit just to see it more clearly. So the example that I love to give is perhaps you send the link to your client so they can view it in 3D as if they're able to come, as if they're doing a site visit with you. And they give feedback about the chair options. They want to see what options you might have. So you can actually say, this is our Shibari chair, but we also have our ghost chair, which would look something like this. And they want to know a little bit more about the table linen options. So you show them that you can do a light blue as well. Those changes, again, all made in real time to give that client a really great professional luxury experience. Now, going back here to the photorealistic 3D that's incorporated with the interactive floor plan. So the benefit of choosing that option for the photorealistic 3D is not only do you get to use it for the client's specific diagram, but we're also going to include it on the interactive floor plan. So the client can not only take a tour of the blank room, but they can also see those different setups that you have displayed here. So the client is going to be able to click through in a 3D setting, the banquet rounds, the classroom, the theater style, and get a sense of what the options are in more than a 2D option. So here we go again, it's that same room, but it's now a kind of a blank slate. In the bottom left-hand corner, we can display banquet rounds. Those are all now set up for us, as if you have the team kind of there to be able to show the client what what you're capable of doing. We'll switch that to a classroom style setup. We have our speaker up on stage with a podium, and just for fun, we'll do one more option, our cabaret style. So this is how the interactive floor plans is now leveraging that photorealistic 3D. And again, that is going to be accessible for any of the rooms that you choose to license the 3D for. I want to show you this last one, and then we'll kind of start wrapping up and talking through the survey here. But just to show you, if you have any outdoor space, that this is a really great option, the photorealistic 3D, for drawing in those customers and really showing off the unique selling points about your property. So in this case, the Fairmont El San Juan Hotel has their ballroom terrace and their ballroom diagrammed in 3D. So the client can see kind of those. We can even kind of have options to go from the ballroom into an outdoor space if they're connected. So you can start thinking about what options you'd want to display. But I just love kind of showing off the luxury of this. You can really get a sense, the feel of the weather and the sunshine. And again, you have all of those different options to see what a cocktail setup might look like at dusk. It's a little bit too light. So that is, again, how it's translated to kind of an outdoor space. Really recommend considering it for whatever those unique selling points about your property are in addition to your ballroom. So I'll just transition back here now to the PowerPoint.
Excuse me, Lexi.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, I have a quick question. Is it because I don't see the difference sometimes between the 3D realistic and the normal 3D?
Yes. Okay. Would you like me to show that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is a 3D realistic?
That's exactly right. So this is a photorealistic 3D. We do have a standard 3D, which is included in the Cvent event diagramming. It would not be part of the interactive floor plan. So from the interactive floor plan, the client wouldn't be able to see a standard 3D, only from if you're creating them, their own diagram here. So down at the bottom, there's a 3D. I can find a different example here, if you give me just a moment to show you what the standard 3D would look like. So that's going to be more of a grayscale rendering, where you're not going to see the detail of the space. Let's see here, can be here. So if you don't license the photorealistic 3D, you'll still have the option to see the space in a 3D view. It's going to look a little bit something like this, a simpler grayscale rendering, where you can still see the whole display of the tables and chairs and any of the objects added, turn on and off the walls, but that would be the main difference.
Okay, now I understand the difference.
Of course. Anything else, Benjamin, that you wanted me to add before we kind of pivot into the survey?
No, from my side, it's fine, unless our hotel colleagues have some question, but I don't see any question on the chat. Guys, feel free to take the mic if you would like to raise any question.
Just a question. Again, this is Josh from Raffles, Jeddah. We are in a pre-opening stage, planning to open in July, August this year. So my question is, now we are using the rendering picture of the ballroom to create the 3D. So at a later stage, we should be having a real photos for this, like a standard, like a real photos for this, just to understand.
Okay, great question. So essentially with the photorealistic 3D, our team is actually able to design the room for you based on pictures or even renderings of the space, or if you have, your kind of design plans. So because our team is designing this for you through our tool, we do not need to send anyone to the property to take a scan or to take pictures. So what I would recommend, or for you, George, is right now we can certainly leverage the renderings and then have a review with you, you know, closer to opening if there's any changes and, you know, things that might need to be updated on your photorealistic 3D, and those minor changes can be certainly done for you.
Okay, so we can start with the renderings, you mean? Okay.
Absolutely, yep. We can start with the renderings. Really, it's simple from our side. A lot of hotels can just take pictures on their phone and send them to us because we're designing it for you from scratch. So we do not need any professional photos or fancy equipment to send out to your property. Really, for us, it saves a lot of time and also allows us to create a more kind of specific plan. And of course, if you think about any refurbishments that might be happening, we're able to pivot very quickly to kind of incorporate those refurbishments. Or if you know, there's potentially a mark on the wall or the carpet, we're of course not going to include that. So it can be an option that allows us to perfect the space and really show off how you want to show it.
Lexi, we have a question in the chat from Anna from our Raffles in Warsaw. So she's saying, will this tool replace the former social tables, and will it be available from June 25? So I'll let you reply to that.
Of course. Thank you, Anna, for the question. So this tool is essentially social tables. So Cvent acquired social tables back in 2018, and we've taken the social tables tool and we've renamed it Cvent Event Diagramming. And so that's the tool that you see today. Of course, we've made enhancements to it since we've acquired it, but this, if you know social tables, it is in effect the same tool. And
so technically it's available already, but I guess you will touch on the delay and the timings for the Cvent team to set up those options.
Yes, absolutely. So as Benjamin mentioned, this is available now. This has been a tool that we've had for many years, and that's why we already have some Fairmont and Raffles properties using it. But in terms of this, you know, this master service agreement, this is going to be available for properties who sign up via the survey starting June 1st. So essentially what we're going to do, and that kind of leads me into the next stage here, is, and all of this will be sent to you as, again, helpful collateral. But we'll go ahead and jump into the survey. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect details from all of you on the call today and anyone else who couldn't attend about what options you'd like to go for. There's many different options in terms of the length, the add-ons that you want, and going to put this together into a master service agreement that will be signed by a core at the corporate level. But then, just to be clear, every property is responsible for licensing this and paying for the tool. It's just going to kind of be on one master contract. So that all of this information will need to be collected by the end of the month. And then the start date of the contract will be the 1st of June, 2025. That's going to give our team a little bit of time to collect the details from you. So we'll need either CAD files or blueprints or, you know, specs of your meeting spaces so that we can build that into the Cvent event diagramming tool so that it's accurate and to scale. We'll need pictures of your meeting spaces if you want to add on that photorealistic 3D so that we know how to design those rooms. And this, depending on the option, can take anywhere from 2 weeks turnaround to about 6 weeks to create those photorealistic 3D rooms. So again, that's why we kind of need that information now at the start for a June start date so that everyone can really start and move forward with these tools at your disposal in June. So just to kind of summarize in the next couple minutes, the two now brand standard tools for all of the properties involved on this webinar are going to be Cvent event diagramming and the interactive floor plans. you will have the option to add on photorealistic 3D, which will include 2 rooms in photorealistic 3D. So you can start thinking about which rooms you would like to include there. And then you also have the option to add on the catalog management, which is going to be your bespoke list of furniture that you have on property. With that, if you license the photorealistic 3D, it will also include 2 custom objects. So this will be essentially your own furniture that is created in a 3D model. For example, you have a unique banquet chair or a specific podium that you would like to use and have that render in 3D. We will include 2 of those custom objects in 3D if you choose the catalog management add-on. So let's dive into the survey now. And walk through the steps of this. Give me just a moment, please. Okay, so everyone will receive a link to the survey. You will need to fill out your details and also your property ID. So I'm just finding my hotel code here. So I'll fill in my details, put in a property code here. And now it's taking us to the next page, which is going to be the event diagramming options. So it does give you and ensure that your hotel name is kind of shown at the top of the screen here. You can click on those links here to find more information about each of the products. Then you're going to scroll down and you'll see you'll have 2 different pricing options to purchase. So the option number 2 is actually just a single year pricing. Option number 1 is going to be a 2-year, multi-year pricing option. The benefit, of course, which would be kind of recommended by us, would be the 2-year pricing, because we're going to waive 50% of the setup fees required to build out these tools for you. So you'll notice that the price for the first year is a bit lower than the single year option because 50% of those setup fees are waived. And you're also able to lock in your increase, your standard increase. So rather than just licensing for 1 year and being subject to a higher year-on-year increase, you are locking in just a 3% year-on-year. So once you evaluate the options, one other thing important to understand is you will only be responsible for the payment of each year at that year. So you're not paying the full 2 years up front, you're just locking in that rate and paying 1 year at a time. Once you've evaluated the option that's right for your property, you'll select the option here for those mandatory products. And then you have the option to add on any additions that you want to add to your subscription. So this includes the photorealistic 3D rooms, 2 of those. And again, very similar setup. You have the option to do a single year or the multi-year, which will of course save you the setup fee, 50% of the setup fee. And again, you're locking in that rate. So because this is just an addition that you can add on, you'll have to click I accept, and then you'll see the options to select the multi-year or the single year. The final option is going to be the catalog management. So this is your unique inventory and those custom objects that will render in 3D. Very similar payment structure. You can click I accept and have the options for the length of the term. And then finally, it's going to just kind of summarize down here at the bottom. Now, again, as I mentioned, the agreement is going to be signed by the corporate office. but the invoice is sent to the hotel directly. So we'll need billing contact information. We'll also need whoever the onboarding contact is. So we would always recommend kind of designating one person at the property to be your champion for these tools so that they can kind of own the product and own the setup from the start. And then finally at the bottom is you need to agree to the terms. These are legal terms and a binding agreement between the property and Cvent for whatever choice you've selected. So based on the responses that we do receive from properties, again, the corporate office will sign one master service agreement. And then finally, once you click submit, you'll receive a purchase summary email. If you need to change anything on that, you'll need to proactively reach out to Cvent to make those modifications, but that will summarize your selection and enter you into that master service agreement that will be signed by the corporate office on your behalf. So I hope that that is clear in terms of how this survey will work. And I hope I did you justice, Akshay, there. But we'll now open it up for any questions that you may have. I've included my contact information for any product questions and Akshay's for any billing contract questions. And
Thank you very much, Lexi, for the presentation. It was really clear. I will see if hotel have question, but just for the time being, just for your information. So tomorrow we are holding the same session for the NCA properties. So by Thursday, this Thursday, you will all receive an email from me with all information. You will have, of course, the presentation deck from Lexi. You will have the link to the survey. You will have the recording of the session. And you will have also, again, the Excel status of your hotel. So you know what are the required action depending on your status, if your contract is about to renew or not, or if you have purchased only the CED but not the floor plan. So we will, again, share all that information to you by Thursday. And we will give you a deadline by the 28th of February to fill up this survey, this link. So any question, guys? Is everything clear? I don't see any question on the chat. Yes.
I'm happy to stay on for a couple of minutes. So but I appreciate everyone's attention and thank you for joining today.
Thank you, everyone. Perfectly on time, Lexi.
Great.
So thank you, everyone, for your attendance during this call. And again, by Thursday, I will share with you all those details. And we can thank you, Liliana, for your comment. And thank you all. Have a nice afternoon. Oh, Isabel, you would like to speak? I saw some
sorry,
hand.
I just accidentally pressed it. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.